What is up, Gemini? How are you guys doing? It is time to go ahead and knock out your main monthly reading for December 2025. Doesn't that sound crazy? Anybody happen to catch a glimpse of 2025? Fuck, I didn't. We gonna jump down, turn around, fart and cough. It's gonna be December 2026, I swear to God. Anywho, so if any of you are in need of a personal reading, you can find all the information on how to go about doing that in the description of this video. If any of you are happening to catch this video in the month of November, because that is when this is being recorded, we are running our Black Friday sale all November long. And we're going to do a couple of special things on actual Black Friday too. But we do have a very special sale going all November long. That's how we do it every year. So if you want, you can just go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. But I have a link for that right down here in the description. All right. Let's see how things are looking between Gemini and their love interest. And this is something I've been needing to make clear here recently. When I say your love interest, this is not somebody you've dated before. Every now and then, somebody will get a general personal reading, and it'll be the current love interest, and they will indicate that they've dated in the past. That is a past person. This is not somebody you have a past history with. This is somebody you're interested in being with now that you've never been with before. Okay? So let's see how it looks in December. Let's get a general energetic overview of how the energy looks in December. Damn dog. Whoops. Hangman. Not a lot of forward movement happening. Let's get 3 shuffles. There's 1, 2, and 3. Yep, 2 of Wands. Man, that's about as stuck and stagnant as it gets right there. 2 of Wands, Hangman. Ain't no forward movement happening here. And you're starting to get irritated, annoyed, and pissed off, aren't you? I don't blame you. Shit. But you aren't abandoning this, are you? We do got the 10 of Cups down here. That's an interesting card to jump out. So this kind of... this kind of feels like something that it's being made official, like on paper, but it's just not going anywhere. Like maybe this person has strung you along for a really long time, and then finally you all agree to make it official, change your relationship status and this and that, but it's just still not moving any further than it was when y'all very first connected. It's just, it's made official on paper, but we're still stuck in the same spot we were in when we first met, you know? That's what this looks like. And what's the most common card to come out for your love interest? 10 of Wands, starting to weigh on you very heavily. And like I said, you're getting very annoyed, irritated, and pissed off about this situation. Some of you dealing with a Libra. Could be a fellow Gemini for some of you, but I feel like it's your energy. You're contemplating whether or not to just throw in the white towel and give up on this altogether. I don't think you're doing that. I don't think so. But you're contemplating it. You're wondering whether or not that would be the best course of action, or if you should hold out for a little bit longer to see if this starts moving forward. Okay, well, let's see how they feel about you. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Gemini's love interest. What's their energy look like in general? What kind of person are they in general? Generally speaking, King of Pentacles reversed. Man, when you got a King of Pentacles reversed, this person is confused about life. Period. They don't know where they're going in life. They don't know what they want. A King of Pentacles reversed doesn't have any fucking goals, no drive, no ambition. They're just kind of floating along like the feather on Forrest Gump. That's this person. You know, they don't know what in the hell they're doing. Could be an earth sign for some of you. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And the King of Wands reversed. Shit. Emperor reversed. Good God, man. This is one confused individual. Not just about love, about life. They don't know where they're going in life. And with the Emperor reverse, could be an Aries for some of you. But they have some pretty serious self-confidence and self-esteem issues. With the King of Wands reverse, they're going to play it off and pretend that it's all cool, like they don't care. Five of Swords, though. I don't like that energy. That's what... See, if it wasn't for this, I was about to say that I don't really think they have bad intentions. I think they're just lost, broken, and confused. But then when you get the Five of Swords energy in there, which there's no point in holding this up because you can't tell by looking. It's just a habit. But that's the Five of Swords. It's not a very traditional card, but it says Five of Swords. When you get the Five of Swords energy in there, that throws a monkey wrench in it because Five of Swords energy is not trustworthy energy. Five of Swords energy means I'm going to get what I want, and I don't care what I have to do to get it. I don't care who I have to lie to, who I have to steal from, cheat, manipulate, fuck over, throw under the bus. I'm going to get what I want. It's all about me. Fuck you. It's all about me. So that's where I'm going to say maybe this person's intentions aren't all that kosher. Empress reversed. So for some of you, this person could have some baggage too. You know, baby mama, baby daddy type shit. But yeah, with all them kings reversed, just a very unambitious, non-goal oriented, confused individual that has no idea where the hell they're going in life. Not really somebody you can build a solid foundation with. Let's get some advice here, I guess. Man, Tower card reversed. Nine of Wands. Devil. Seven of Swords reversed. I feel so torn here giving advice for this. Because there's a very, excuse me, there's a very important lesson to be learned from this situation. Very important. So first of all, it shouldn't feel like that. It should not feel like that. A new relationship should not already be weighing on you and keeping you up at night. A new relationship, well, no relationship should, honestly. You shouldn't bring anybody into your life that makes you feel that way. But a new fucking relationship, a new connection should not be making you question your self-worth. Question whether or not you're good enough. You know, that's not gonna sustain itself for very fucking long. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna tell you that right goddamn now. This energy needs to shift quickly. If it doesn't, it's not going to survive 2026. It's not. This is just not going to sustain itself all year long. Actually, if this energy doesn't change like yesterday between the two of you, or at least start to change, I'm not saying you got to flip a switch so that y'all are glowing and floating on a cloud overnight, but if a shift isn't made in the energetic trajectory between the two of you, I'd be surprised if it survives to summer. I'd be real surprised. But I'm just going to say, feel it out. And for those of you who don't see through this enough to make the decision to walk away from this, I'm not going to tell you to do that. It's going to crash and burn. And be sure you extract a very valuable lesson from this. Don't ever let someone string you the fuck along like that. Ever. Do you think that your divine fucking life partner is going to string you along? The one fucking person the universe picked for you? Don't try to figure out if someone is your person. It's much quicker, easier, and more efficient to figure out if they're not your person. Much quicker. You ain't going to miss out on an opportunity. The universe is not a dumbass. Okay? One of the leading causes of people going to their deathbed, never attracting their person, is wasting too much time with the wrong fucking person. I've seen it happen. Swear to God I have. Swear to God I have. Now, it's not something that happens all the fucking time, but it does happen. If you spin in circles and waste too much time with the wrong fucking person, you will pass that up. It's possible. All right. Let's see what's going on in the current long-term relationship. So, if you're not in a long-term relationship, this is not for you. If you are in a long-term relationship, but the two of you are not experiencing any problems, this is not for you. This is only for my sun, moon, rising, and Venus, Gemini, friends and family who are in a long-term relationship that is suffering problems and issues and concerns. If your love life is perfect and happy, go away. I don't have anything to tell you. Go enjoy your love life. You don't even need to know who I am. All right, let's see. How's it looking in December? Ooh, Ace of Wands. Okay. Ooh. That looks good. Give me some rainbows and unicorns, y'all. I don't like reading negative readings. I know some of y'all don't believe that, but I really don't. Okay, damn. Well, okay. No, I think you all are starting a new leaf. I think so. I think so. Now, the thing about it is that to break out of a cycle when two long-term partners get trapped, it's really easy to get trapped in a cycle, really easy. And to break out of it is a slow process that requires constant work. To break out of one cycle and start a new cycle, it's just like forming or breaking any habit, right? It's going to be hard. It's going to take time. And there's going to be times where you slip up. So I do see you all making the effort to turn a new leaf and start a new cycle. But there are going to be times where you slip up. Absolutely. 100%. It's looking good on the outside. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's going to take a little bit of time for that outside work to work its way into the inside. And for that change to start wiring itself into the vibrational frequency between the two of you. Deeper and deeper and deeper, you know? So, okay, that's good. That is good. Some of you could be dealing with a situation in which there's addiction that's causing problems. In which case, that's going to be a struggle. That's not a demon that you can fight overnight. Fuck no, it's not. Hell no, it's not. But I am seeing an effort being put in. And this is the beginning of the slow, gradual, transitionary process out of the old cycle. So, okay. Some of y'all dealing with a Capricorn. I also have Pisces, Scorpio, Libra. But you know it could be anybody. Those are just energies. Let's see how they feel about you and what their true intentions are. How's this person feel about Gemini? What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Yeah, they're ready for a change. They are ready for a change. And I think they have every intention of sticking with it. I think so. I think so. They're tired of looping around in the same old cycle. And at least right now, they have every intention of digging in and making a genuine change. The question is, do they have the discipline? That's the question. Because it's no different than when somebody decides to make a change to their health, you know? And you see it happen all the time, and it's going to be happening here in December. New year, new me. People going to the gym and, you know, straightening out their diet, and they have every intention of it, and they start doing it. But can you stick with it? It's hard. It's really hard. Really hard. So that's the only thing that remains to be seen, is whether or not this person has the discipline to stick with it until a genuine change actually starts happening. See, the change doesn't happen when you first step off onto the path. That's the start of it. The change happens once it begins to write itself into your brain. That's when a change happens. Once it starts writing itself into your frequency. Once your brain starts rewriting itself. And in this case, it's two of you having to rewrite your brains together. And that's when every cell in your body starts. See, here's one thing I think a lot of people don't understand. When those of us in the spiritual community use the word vibration, that's not a metaphor. That's not an airy-fairy, fluffy-duffy, artsy-fartsy little analogy that doesn't hold any water. You literally emit an electromagnetic field. It's produced by your heart. It can be measured 10 to 15 feet outside of your body. That electromagnetic field vibrates at a specific frequency. Okay? To change the frequency that is produced by your heart, that is a slow process. If somehow in magical fairy tale land you were to be able to try to change the vibration of your fucking heart really, really quickly, it would kill you. Your heart wouldn't be able to handle it. The human skin suit is way too thick, dense, and heavy to move that fast, to change that fast. Maybe one of these days in the next 20, 30, 40 years, the higher we go in vibration of the planet, maybe, but not now. We're not there yet. We're still way too thick, dense, and heavy on this planet, in this dimension that we're in right now. So I say that the person has intentions of turning a new leaf. So let's just grab some advice here. What's the advice? So the hard part is focusing on yourself. That's the hardest part. It's so easy to get distracted by what your partner's doing and what they need to do and what they need to work on and what they're not doing. So easy to get, and then a lot of times that's what you see. Couples get stuck spinning in circles because they're both too hyper-focused on each other. You know, because I don't give a fuck who you are. If you think you don't have something wrong with you that you need to work on, you're delusional. We're all regular ass humans. Every last one of us has at least one red flag. Every last one of us has at least one narcissistic trait. Every last one of us has at least one bullshit emotional trigger that we shouldn't fucking have, that usually stems back to childhood. And I'm being really generous when I say at least one. We all got that. Any human being that thinks they ain't got none of that is fucking delusional. Okay, we all do. And it's really, at first, I mean, even by yourself, it's hard to look at that shit. Even alone and single, that is one of the most uncomfortable fucking things you will ever do, is flip the light on in the dungeon and start calling yourself out on your own bullshit and working to make changes. But when you got somebody else in your life, you know, it's really easy to get distracted by what they need to do and not focus on what you need to do. So just try to do the best you can to keep an eye on you. Let them do their thing at their own pace. You do your thing at your own pace. All right. As long as we're doing that, and you're seeing the slightest bit of progress, we're good. We're good. If you want to now here's where it gets slippery. Loyalty. Everyone should have boundaries. Everybody. There should be boundaries. You don't want to let your own loyalty bite you in the ass. Being loyal does not mean putting up with abuse and toxicity. Okay? There's a difference between being loyal and letting someone abuse you. Within the boundaries of morality, breaking up is not on the table. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have boundaries. All right? I am not advocating for domestic violence, abuse, infidelity. Those are deal breakers. Within the boundaries of that bullshit, breaking up's not on the table. It's not on the table. We work on this shit. Now, if you get to work on you and they don't, eventually the universe will separate you by way of universal law. It'll happen whether you like it or not, whether you choose to or not. There's a difference between frequency equalization and just giving up and running away because it's too hard. So most of the time, though, when you're in a long-term relationship, not somebody you've just been with for a few months, but a long-term, the majority of the time, when you genuinely start making a change in you, that's going to inspire them to do the same. About 75% of the time. Most of the time. Either A, that's going to make them feel safe and comfortable because they see you doing it too, so they feel safe to let their guard down, or B, it's going to start making them look bad. Because it's going to get to a point where anybody can obviously fucking tell who the toxic one is and who's not, who's working on themselves and who's not, who's bettering themselves and who's not. It's going to be so blatantly fucking obvious to anyone after a certain point. So, a lot of potential here. A whole lot. So, just keep in mind it's a slow process. Set fucking boundaries, though. I'm not saying put up with abuse and toxicity. But you, at the end of the day, just turn your focus on yourself. And allow the universe to do the rest. All right. Singles. Let's see how the energy's looking for the singles. Turn my fan back on. When the fan's on, it's too cold. When the fan's off, it's too hot. I can't open my window, though, because my neighbor's house is too close, and I'm loud when I read. I just don't like my fan because it's noisy. I can't turn it on like low because it makes this annoying clicking sound. So I got to turn it on really fucking high. All right. Let's see what's happening with the singles. Anything new coming in? Anything old coming in? Anything good coming in? Anything bad coming in? Anything coming in at all? Uh-oh. God damn it, don't do this to me. Death reversed. Well, for a lot of you, I do see a past person trying to get your attention. I don't really think that's going anywhere, though. Some of you are just blatantly ignoring it. Others of you, it's not even hitting your radar. But I am thinking, though, that the majority of you are going to be tested. Yeah, you're going to be tested. I am seeing some past energy in there, but not a whole lot, so I'm not going to hammer real hard on that. Yeah, I'm not going to hammer real hard on that. But I think that the majority of you are going to be tested. So it's time to level up. And there's at least going to be an open door of opportunity for you to connect with a person or get into a situation that is just like something that you've been through before. See, here's the thing about being tested. There's only one exception to this, and we'll talk about that in a minute. When you're tested, that doesn't quite work the way a soul contract works. When you have an actual soul contract with somebody, that is very difficult to avoid. Your life is going to arrange itself in a way that there's, I don't want to make it sound like you're forced to do anything, because you're not, but it can really happen no other way. You and this person are fucking coming together. And your life is going to unfold in such a way that damn near makes the two of you come together, right? It's going to find its way into your life. A test isn't quite like that. With one exception, we'll talk about that in a second. When you're tested, the universe opens a door and dangles a carrot, metaphorically speaking, just to see if you're still stupid. Now, the exception to that is if your boundaries are being tested. If one thing you need to work on is setting boundaries, then that's when a test will try to force its way into your life. That's the only exception, though. As long as you don't need any work on setting boundaries, a test is not going to push and shove and force its way into your life. All right? And to give you an example, and this is just a cornball example. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but let's say the last person you got with was unemployed, living with their mama, a convicted felon with a child that they don't take care of, just for example. Well, you meet another person that's unemployed, live with their mama, and they got a kid they don't take care of. And they're not forcing their way into your life, you know, but the opportunity presents itself somehow, you know, and it's tempting. Oh, it's tempting. But I've been here before. I've seen this before. I've smelled this bullshit before. Best case scenario, you smell the bullshit from a mile away and you completely bypass it and don't even realize it. Pass that test with flying colors. Worst case scenario, you say, well, what if it's different this time? Get sucked back in and repeat a past cycle. Cornball example. Just a goofy example, you know, but there's so many different kinds of ways that it can happen where you're tested. And there's so many different areas, aspects, and, you know, there's just so many different levels at which you can be tested. You know, like I said, your boundaries, emotional independence, your insecurities, emotional manipulation, red flags of all different shapes and sizes. But you'll be tested. Those of you who pass the test are going to level up. Those of you who don't, well, you already know. So, okay, let's get some advice. Usually I don't get much more than the same talking points for advice on this. But we'll see if anything else wants to come through. Advice for the single Geminis. Okay, well, first of all, we got to state the obvious. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. If you want to attract different, you have to vibrate different. If you want something that you never had, you're going to have to do something you've never done. You're going to have to be someone you've never been. You got to move different in order to create different. Let me see what else wants to come through. Yep. Every time. Be careful getting into a relationship because you are feeling lonely. And be really careful getting into a relationship just because the person makes you feel so good that you forget about all of your problems. All right. How many relationships would you say came to an end in 2025? Could you imagine how many people broke up this year alone? Of everybody that broke up this year, how many of those relationships would you say began with the most invigorating, intoxicating explosion of emotions that makes you feel so good that you forget about all your problems? Probably damn near all of them, or at least 95% of them, right? Well, if that's the feeling that we're looking for, then why does it always fail? Because that's not love. That's not what love feels like. That's pleasure. We have all been born into and brought up in a system that's brainwashed us all into conflating pleasure with happiness. Most people, that's all they know. They don't know the difference between pleasure and happiness. That's not what we're looking for. And this is what gets so hard to describe. Because until you feel it, you don't understand it. But what you're looking for is transparency. The most natural, neutral feeling of trust and transparency you've ever felt in your life. And this is where everybody always pops back and says, well, I thought I found that with my ex. I thought I found that with my first marriage. I thought I found that with it. No, you didn't. No, the fuck you didn't. No, you didn't. You can't fake that. You don't feel that level of trust unless that level of trust is actually fucking there. You can't fake it. If that level of trust was actually fucking there, that person wouldn't be your ex right now. Period. End of discussion. The most calm, cool, relaxing, natural, neutral feeling of trust and transparency. It's not explosive. It's not invigorating. It's not intoxicating. It's natural. It's like being in the same room with your mom. Do you love your mom? Of course. But is it intoxicating? Does it make you forget about all your fucking problems and make you feel like you're floating on cloud nine and make all your insecurities disappear when you're around your mom? No. Because that's not what true love feels like. Love just is. Right? That feeling is pleasure. Oh, and it's an amazing feeling. I'm not saying that that feeling should be absent. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be there. I'm saying it shouldn't be behind the wheel. It shouldn't be what's controlling the situation. Just because somebody makes you feel so fucking good that you forget about all your problems, that does not mean that they are your divine life partner. There's a lot of people out there who are really, 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 really good at fucking manipulating people. There's a lot of people out there who know exactly how to make you feel that way. They know every little emotional button they need to push. They are very clandestine, very manipulative, very sneaky. And if you ain't careful and you let that explosive feeling pull the wool over your eyes and sweep you off your feet, off you go. You're going to learn another hard lesson. So, just keep some of these things in mind. Be picky about what the energy feels like means move in abundance. See, most people are not getting into relationships on a frequency of abundance. If they were on a frequency of abundance, they wouldn't be out there searching for a relationship. The simple fact that they are so desperately searching for and waiting for and wishing for a relationship is intrinsically indicative of emptiness, lack, neediness. Right? That's not what abundance feels like. Abundance feels like I'm so content, I don't care if I'm in a relationship or not. I don't need anyone or anything. And it's very neutral. It's not like an angry, like, oh, I don't need anybody, fuck you. No, 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 no. It's very neutral. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm happy. And this is, again, it's so hard to do that because we're in this dimension that creates the illusion of separation. That's the twist to it. If you've spent any amount of time in the spiritual community, you've heard somebody say we're all connected. We're all one. How many of you have heard that? Guarantee you every fucking one of you's heard somebody say that. So what does that mean? If we're all connected, we're all one, we're not incomplete. There is no void. It's not a void. It's a low vibration created by the illusion of separation. We're not separate. We're all connected. We're all one. There is no void to be filled. The primary law is the law of vibration. What happens is you attract somebody who matches your low vibration, and that gets you really fucking high for a temporary period of time. Makes you forget about the void, for lack of a better phrase. But just like everything else, that's going to wear off eventually. And then what are you left with? The energy that you were carrying right before you met him. And then that's when that energy is going to start bubbling up to the surface and expressing itself and manifesting itself between the two of you. When you're on a vibration of abundance, you are ultra fucking sensitive to the energy that you allow into your field. Right? You're not out looking for it. You're not out searching for it. You're not sitting around waiting on it and hoping for it and wishing for it. You just are. I am abundant. I'm content. When I attract something in, then I cross that bridge when I get to it. I don't sit around wishing for it and waiting for it. That's intrinsically indicative of a lack vibration. You don't move that way when you're on an abundance vibration. It just doesn't happen. How do you do that, though? That's the trick. That's something that there's no words for. So just be picky and choosy about how the energy feels when you connect with somebody. But if you have to repeat a cycle, you got to repeat a cycle. We've all had to do it. So anyway, I feel like those were the messages that my Gemini family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.